Calvin Castine, September 30th, 2025. Judy Castine will be doing most of the recording, or just about all of it. I'll be doing all the talking. We're heading north. First thing we're going to see is a little construction, maybe at the St. Bernard-de-Lacolle entrance into Canada here in Champlain. And I've lived here my entire life, and I have to admit I've never been to the actual hamlet of St. Bernard-de-Lacolle. I've gone through the town every time we enter through this direction here. We're going through St. Bernard-de-Lacolle town, but never knew if there was an actual hamlet until I checked on the map. So today we're going to actually make a detour and check that map after living here for 78 years. We're obviously not going to run the camera during the crossing, so we'll just show there is some construction starting here. Alright, we have cleared the customs and went alongside the major area where it's starting their construction. It's just barely starting it. So yes, the lady who let us in, I said a year or two. She shook her head. Guessed maybe 4 or 5. So she sounded like next summer when the traffic is hot and heavy, or Thanksgiving time, or times when it's usually kind of busy. It's going to be kind of hectic here at the Champlain border crossing. So this is the St. Bernard-de-Lacolle crossing. Grew up listening to Smiley Willette, Melody Owl saying they're playing at Blackpool, which is right there at the border. But it's all part of St. Bernard-de-Lacolle, which is located between Hemmingford, the town of Hemmingford, I think it's called. Or it could be Huntington, I'm not sure. Or the town where Hemmingford is. And on the east side, it's Lacolle. So we're going to try to find St. Bernard-de-Lacolle. Okay, the sign says St. Bernard-de-Lacolle, Route 202. That's where we're heading here. And we'll be to the east of this once we get off. This little place here, I think, was to the right. Just missed, I think that was called, that's what the New Meridian was. Kind of buried in the trees right now. I think it became a home for the aged. With a name like the New Meridian, I assumed it became the Meridian Hotel after the one up on the end of Oak Street was closed. So busy during Prohibition days. So we'll let Judy shut it off for a moment as we take this turn. We got off the exit. I wanted to check out something, so we headed toward the Hemmingford direction. And when we get back on the 202, we'll be heading right the direction we wanted to head. But a couple years ago, we stopped in here because we heard there was a Tim Hortons, and it was closed, so we haven't been around here since then to check it out. So I looked on the line today and it said it was open, so we thought we'd check it out. So anybody from northern New York looking to go to a Tim Hortons, it's about 5 kilometers north of the Champlain port of entry here. Just 5 kilometers, about 3 miles. Okay, we're back on the road now. We just crossed over the route, I think it's 15 that we take coming in here. And now we're heading east on 202. And there's a sign, 4 kilometers to St. Bernard-de-Lacolle. I have to admit I've been to Henrysburg, which is in this township also, but that was well over 50 years ago. Never been, to my knowledge, to actual St. Bernard-de-Lacolle. These colors are changing, nothing drastic, but there are interesting colors right now as we are driving down. Looking for the signs here. There should be a turn off before. This first turn off takes us to Henrysburg, but we're going to the next one. Okay, there's a sign here. It says St. Bernard-de-Lacolle. So we haven't gone very far. Probably less than 2 miles from where Tim Hortons was. The first thing I noticed on the map was there is a small community here. It looked like it was mainly camps and stuff, but there is a small community before we get to St. Bernard-de-Lacolle, and it looks like it's garbage day here from all the cans out by the side of the road. A nice big farm to our right, if Judy can slowly get that. And the road is not very wide here. The ditches come very close. There's a church up ahead. And this just might be the hamlet right here. So I'm sure this video will rank up there with Pee-wee's Big Adventure. 5 kilometers to our right would take us into Lacolle, and that's probably where we're going to head when we leave here. We have a stop sign, and there it is. There is a little sign that says St. Bernard. So we'll let Judy look out the side window because we're going to be going in both directions. Just shoot it more toward that's it. It looks like some kind of a school here. St. Bernard School, elementary students. Slow going, lots of people parked there. There's tight-knit roads here, 50 kilometers an hour, which is 30 miles an hour. And we'll go to the end of this little thing. There's a post office. When we get to the post office, it looked on the map as if we'd be at the end of the thriving little community here. Big parking area here. I think it's for the church, which is on the other side of the road. We'll see on the way back. And that takes us to a farm field. A nice big farm. We'll shut the camera off and we'll turn around and head back to the right. Okay, Judy's kind of leaning right now. So we've turned around at the next intersection and we're heading back into that thriving little hamlet. There's some farm fields work being done out here, some harvesting to our right here. Looks like they're getting oats or soybeans, not quite sure. And I think we're going to be blocked out as far as, because this house here is kind of blocking whoever's doing the harvesting, but this is what they're harvesting right now, and it's kind of dry, whatever it is. So I really felt kind of embarrassed that I've lived my entire lifetime and I've never ventured into this tiny little hamlet that has the same name as the town when we crossed the border. But the St. Bernard-de-Lacolle Fire Department is part of our mutual aid system. I think they are still part of it. I know we've had some problems with ports being closed at night and some of the departments not necessarily keeping up with it. Here's the church, St. Bernard Church, and I did see the fire department on the looks like a museum or something on the other side of the road there. Did see the fire department on the map, so we may have gone by the fire department building without really realizing we did that. Because we are coming to the end of the, what I would call the actual community of St. Bernard-de-Lacolle. We're back at the school on my side of the road. And Lacolle is 5 kilometers to our left, east. This is Monte Dupuis is the road we're going to be taking. And Judy's going to hit the off button. Okay, we are back in the USA. We're heading to the Rouse's Point port. We're going to stop here for a moment because I want to get a view of where the new port will be going up. Looks like they haven't started the construction yet. So on the Canadian side, there's construction going on at St. Bernard-de-Lacolle entrance and at the Champlain port. This is the Rouse's Point port, and there will be construction going in here in the next coming years as the new port of entry will be closer to the tracks. Even though we're already in the US, it takes a bit before we get to the port of entry, so that's going to change here at the Rouse's Point. We did stop at the IGA in Lacolle to pick up some pea soup, habitant pea soup, and some tortillas. Now we're heading home.